Morning. Welcome to Math 9 in the PM. I have to think for a second. This is calculus. You guys are so mature. No. We're doing dividing rationals. And a special shout out to Ed M. It's been a while since you've been here. Ed B, sorry. It's been a while since you've been here. Welcome back to our flock. I'm the shepherd, the ocean duck. Dividing rationals. Okay, we've done adding, subtracting, multiplying. Time for dividing. And we've done this before. It's always review, and then we just build on a little bit. So let's take a look at this. I'm just making space because I get better recording a little closer, but there's a lot of limitations to what they've given me this year. Okay. They're divided by 3/5. There's my magic. According to the blue, direction is flip and multiply by the reciprocal. Really, I just say flip and multiply. Multiply by the reciprocal is just a fancy word. So if I take the second fraction, 1/3 is the same. And make this into a multiplying problem. What are we writing down? Well, if I flip it, yeah. Right? And then I top. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. Right? Is this coming back to you guys? It's the right answer every time. You can think about why does this work. It might be confusing. Remember that you could just do this and you get the right answer. It's fine. Later on, we can figure it out. Now, I want to do the next one first by hand, and then I want to show you something about your calculator. That's what the red stuff underneath. So, according to this, leave the first one alone. Second one, flip and multiply. Reciprocal is the word. I don't need the bracket on there. I just -5 times 4 is -20, and then 8 times 1 is 8. Did you guys ever talk about, though, you can reduce your fractions before you multiply? Now, I'll show you the long way again. I said it actually, -20 over 8. But if I said I'd show you. I'll show you this. It'll be disappearing in. If I do this, then I have to take out a factor of who 4 fits into both, right? There's a quicker way to do it, where you don't have to worry about that. If you see right here that, okay, look, -5, is there anything on the bottom that has factors that go into 5? Nothing. How about this 4? And this 8, well, the 1 doesn't have anything. 4 and 8 can both be divided by 4, correct? Think of that right off the bat. If you notice it, it'll save you the work later on when the number gets higher after multiplying. I'm going to use green just so you can see what I'm doing. So I think in my head, divide by 4 on the top, divide by 4 on the bottom. And I choose the swap. If I divide by 4 right here, what's 4 divided by 4? 1. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. If you do that first, crossing out common factors. If you do it first, you don't have to take out the common factor at the end. And it's usually easier to go 5 times 1. It's negative. And 2 times 1. Hey, this is already in smallest terms. Lowest terms. If you didn't, you had -20 over 4 or over 8, you still come to this, you just have a, you can do it either way is what I'm trying to say. And if later on you want to figure out, like, why does flipping and multiplying work for division? I can talk to you about that later. Right now, we're not going to worry so much. Now, I want you guys to get out your handheld calculators that you have. The one I have on the board doesn't work like that. The one I have this TI-84 picture. So I'm holding one that can't be seen on the video. People have a calculator like this. Did you notice now on this calculator, the ABC button is here. On this Casio calculator, my ABC button's over by my index finger here. Look for a button that looks like that. And I'll show you what I mean on the recording here. The button typically looks like that, A with a fraction BC. See if you can find one on your calculator. Well, just hang on. Every calculator is slightly different. So those directions work for most. So, are you guys with me? And have you found a button that looks like that on your calculator? Keaton, you want to quickly come up here and we'll just check. I'm going to pause the video because some don't have them. Put on two different calculators. I want you guys to do it here. My calculator, you put on your brand of calculator, you put the negative sign in first. The brand of calculator, it depends. So some calculators will go negative sign and then 5. Now, so we're trying this out what's in the, now this might be, like I said, in a different order. You might have to hit your negative sign first. Basically, if your calculator gives you a display as you type things in, it's typically you have to do the minus sign first. Your calculator, don't know, let's try it. Okay, then I hit my fraction button, and I noticed Keaton came up, and then his actually looks like a fraction with fill in the blanks. Oh. Okay. Now the ABC button. By doing the ABC button, that means I'm putting in a fraction. That's what this means. You're putting in this. So we put in the minus the 5. Now hit the ABC for the fraction button. And you'll notice that what happens is that you get this little r. It'll be like this. Like that. Just think of it as a corner. Okay? Then I put the denominator of the fraction in next. That means I've started the fraction, and I'm putting in the 8 part. So I hit -5, fraction button here, 8, the denominator, okay? Everybody cool with that with their branded calculator? You have one? Are you doing this? Yeah, good. You guys over here? Calculators? Good. Then I'm hitting the division sign. And I'm doing that just by the division sign. That you're familiar with. Then I'm going to go 1 fraction 4. Do this. 1 fraction 4, and then 1 fraction button 4. And the equal sign. So I'll go 1, ABC on my calculator, 4. Equals. Then I'm going to compare the answers. I get negative. Now, it looks like this, but I'm going to understand this to read the fraction. Now that button says ABC. It gives this to me. -2, 1, 2. What does that mean? That means -2 is the big front number. And then 1 over 2 is it's a mixed number that it gives you. Okay? I'm sorry, what was that? Absolutely, that'd be wonderful. Everybody get that? Nope, on their fraction button, did you? Which calculator brand do you have? Good. Oh, this is very much like this one. And it worked, did you? Yeah. You guys getting this? Hey, Elijah? You getting this? Do you have one at home, though, that you're just forgetting to bring? Okay. Awesome. Because this saves you time. The thing is, though, I didn't get -5/2 like I did in blue. Wait a minute. What does -2 and 1/2 mean? What does -5/2 mean as a mixed number? Oh, yeah, it's the same number. It's just a different form. So I'm going to just go back to this answer and say, yeah, it is. Because how many times do you think of -5/2 as a division question? How many times does 2 go into 5? Twice. So big number 2 with a minus sign. And then, what's the leftover? 1 out of the 2. Right? So that calculator can save you time. And I'll let you use it on mixed numbers. On some problems, I'll say you must show all work. You can check it. So I want to do one with mixed numbers on your calculator too. You know what? If you want to do this one by hand, you got to change your mixed numbers into improper fractions. Well, let's just go with the calculator. So how do we enter a mixed number? Now, you know that we were only entering the B and the C part of the fraction when we were using the ABC. First, you'd put in the front number. So I'm going to put in my -4. Then I'm going to press the ABC button, 1, ABC button, 5. You guys follow that? Now I'm going to write this down below here. What I'm actually entered, it looks like this. -4, hit the ABC button, 1, ABC button, 5. That's on my screen in my calculator. Every time you see that kind of right angle at that bottom between the 4 and the 1, and the 1 and the 5, that means I've hit the ABC button. This, what's in green, is that mixed number, -4 1/5. Then I'm going to hit the division button. So that's what's in between. And then I'll do the same thing. Divide, and then -3, fraction button, 1, fraction button, 3. What do we get? 13/50. Hey, you know what this fraction button does? Makes you look like a genius. You can do this kind of stuff without taking 5 minutes to do it. And gives it to me in lowest terms. I want you to be able to use the fraction button. I want you to be able to do it without 2. And I'm showing you 2 examples without a calculator. Fraction button. I want you to be able to do both. But honestly, in real life, you're not going to do too many problems that are mixed numbers and stuff like this without a calculator. Okay? You can use a calculator and get precise too. So that's what I'm saying. So nowadays with Google, and I teach calculus. Like I'm telling you, you won't, unless you're in some specialized field, you probably won't. Now you see the list there of questions that I'd like you to try. It's not a crazy long list. So you're going to try those problems, okay? I'm going to give you guys a chance to try those. Go ahead. I'm going to finish the recording. Yes?